Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Tuesday, September 21st, around 10:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2021. La Palma volcano live continues its spectacular eruption, but a bigger story is the biggest quake in what they're claiming is 5 years, causing damage in Australia, but we'll get to the facts. Summer snow creates wintry scenes around Yellowstone. Keep calm. It's boom time. And we're taking names. Freeze warnings were issued yesterday. Snow is in the forecast for southeast Wyoming mountains. It has fallen already. Snow returns to the Colorado mountains as well. And holy heckaroli. Let's take a look at what's going on here. There is just some mild snow coming in there in Wyoming and northern Colorado, 3 to 6 inches in the high elevations. But the return to winter, well, is evident on the GFS models. We have snow continuing in British Columbia and Alberta. That's going to be moving down into Montana on Wednesday and Thursday, and Wyoming as well. So a second round of snow. And the center of Canada, take a look at that. Ontario is going to be picking up some snow as well. So early season snow, early October snow for take a look at this. British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario. Where's Alberta? Oh, we just passed that. So, ho, 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 Santa's coming to town. Let's take a quick look at the forecast. Heavy rainfall threat across the U.S., eastern U.S. A strong cold front will gradually push through the eastern U.S. over the next couple of days and will bring heavy rain and severe weather, primarily damaging winds. Excessive rainfall may result in flash flooding in the central Great Lakes and central Appalachia. Flash flood watches are currently in effect from coastal Carolinas to the Great Lakes. Take a look at the green counties, and those are the areas most likely to flood. Click on the county to get more information. We still have some wind warnings in southeast Wyoming, and it is going to be frosty and freezy in Colorado. It froze here the other morning, and our growing season is over. Now, the biggest quake in 5 years in Australia, perhaps, but certainly not in Victoria. This is one of the largest quakes in recorded history in this region, and it's a sign of the times. An earthquake has caused damage to buildings in Australia's second most populous city, Melbourne. The magnitude 5.8 earthquake struck 38 kilometers south of Mount Buller in the country's southeast, according to U.S. Geological Survey. The quake was at a depth of 10 kilometers, and there you could see a pile of rubble. So apparently it was, well, Melbourne was rocked, literally, by an earthquake. Video footage emerged on Twitter showing building rubble on Melbourne's Chapel Street, a popular restaurant and nightclub area. Now, I just dug right into the scientific literature and came up with this paper, Historical Earthquakes in Victoria. Now, no large magnitude 6 or above earthquakes have occurred in Victoria since European settlements in the early 1800s. Bear with me. We had a little bit of a gremlin alarm coming up the sidewalk there. Now, so let me get back to what we're saying. The most destructive Victorian earthquake to date were the two near Warrnambool in April and July of 1903. By good fortune, no lives were lost as there was significant damage. But if we come over and we look, well, first of all, we can see a map of all the quakes in that region, and the quake in question happened right down here where most of the quakes historically have happened. But this was a big one. How big was it? Let's just come down to the historical chart here. Boom. And look at the approximate magnitude of the quakes in Victoria. And we see a 5.7 back in 1922. Now, that's 100 times weaker than the one that just occurred. So this is literally the largest earthquake in recorded history in Victoria. And that's tonight's first boom to knowledge. I'll leave you links to this paper. It's very detailed, and a lot of people in Australia are looking for information like this, and I just provided it to you. Seismic update. No other quakes to note, but the 5.9 in Australia, which is still listed at 5.9. So that would be the largest quake in history for this region since seismographs had begun recorded, which is pretty significant in my opinion. What say you? Leave a comment below, and we're going to get to La Palma. But it's a sign of the times because we are on the flexure point, the cosmic catastrophe flexure point of the great year. We're at the mid-cycle. This is the sea level rise flexure point. Oh, my bad. I meant sea level fall. You know what I meant. This is the onset of the Ice Age. And here we can see the onset of the late Wisconsinian exactly 26,000 years ago, which was the last glacial cycle, the beginning of it. It peaked 16,000 years ago, right about here. And then 12,900 years ago, all the ice melted during the last catastrophe. Speaking of catastrophes, La Palma Volcano Volcanic Ash Advisory earlier today. Intense lava fountaining to over 10,000 feet. That's 3,000 in meters. And there is good explanation for it. There was an uptick in seismic activity up at the surface here. We were watching and waiting to see what that meant. Well, it meant intense lava fountaining and nothing more. The volcano itself is pretty actively erupting in normal fashion as previous historical eruptions have occurred. These are flank eruptions that are effusive in nature with strombolian activity, which looks exactly like this. This is strombolian volcanic activity. And La Palma is doing exactly what it should be doing. We do have an updated volcano flow map. This is the lava flow. This is the main fissure area on a topographic map and the exact region that has affected so far. It's still pushing its way, albeit slowly, towards the sea. And we do have, thankfully, some live stream footage of that for you. So let's take a look at that. So this is the main vent area where the main cinder cone, and let's just bring this back so we can actually get some good footage here. Jesus. And this is where the main activity is happening. You can see there has been very little change over the last several days since the eruption began. Some slight uptick this afternoon. There is a lower vent down the slope that did open up, showing that there's a sheet dike underneath this entire region. So the entire region is unstable. That doesn't mean it's going to calve off into the Atlantic and kill everyone on the Atlantic margin. That's the lowest case scenario. This is such a tiny fissure event. If we were to see hundreds of these light up all the way to the southern tip of the island, we could get worried. But there is no historical evidence of this happening in recent times. So what we're just seeing is normal activity from La Cumbre Vieja volcano in La Palma, and that is good news for all the people that are worried. Nothing to worry about, except spectacular footage to view on Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Look at that. Certainly, it's boom time. And that is just a gorgeous sight of Earth's, nature's wonders, period. Beautiful. Hope you got something out of the video. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. It's good to be back. And in case you missed us for the last 2 weeks and don't know where we were over at Magnetic Reversal News covering the La Palma eruption in great detail. So if you haven't seen any of those videos, please go check them out. We love each and every one of you. Thanks for sticking with us. As the censorship increases, all we try to do is bring you up to date to the most important information you need to know at the time you need to know it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share this with like-minded people and be safe. We love you. And that's boom to knowledge. We'll see you tomorrow.